Because these white folks, I don't care what y'all think. I don't care if you think you a lawyer, if you a man, if you an African American, if you whatever the fuck you think you are. We thugs and niggas to these motherfuckers. You know? And until we own some shit, I'ma call it like it is. How you gonna be a man and we starving? You know? And we can walk by 5 different houses, ain't a man in either one of them motherfuckers. How we gonna be a man? How we gonna be African American? We out here dying. We thugs and we niggas until we step this shit right. Trust me when I tell you that shit.
When they see niggas starting to, mobilize, the only time the cracker will attack something if it's some unity in it. You understand what I'm saying? If it was destroying us, like many people saying it is, why would the cracker all of a sudden come out and say we shouldn't say it? Because too many of us identify with it. And if you get the right brother or sister that know how to utilize that, it becomes a military advantage for black people. Fuck y'all motherfuckers. You understand what I'm saying? We are niggas because we are living in a society where we don't own shit. We are niggas because we are living in a society that wants to lock up every black man and woman on the goddamn planet. That's why we are niggas. And the word exists. The social reality that makes the word real, it exists. We're not making it ain't like the word doesn't have credibility. The word has credibility. We don't own shit. The white man's curriculum is what is teaching our babies. And so what motherfucker who got the knowledge, knowing that the white man is our enemy, will allow his babies to be taught by that curriculum but a goddamn
13th Amendment reads, slavery is abolished except when you are found guilty of a crime and go to jail. So prison is the slave plantation. And look at all the things that are denied you in jail is the same thing that were denied Africans on the plantation. Slavery still is very much alive.
Today, there are more African American adults under correctional control in prison or jail on probation or parole than were enslaved in 1850, a decade before the Civil War began. Crime and crime rates did not drive mass incarceration to begin with. Incarceration rates have fluctuated over the years, gone up, gone down. Today, are actually at historical lows, but incarceration rates, especially black incarceration rates, have consistently soared regardless of whether crime was going up or going down in any given community or the nation as a whole. War on drugs, which has been a major engine of mass incarceration, has targeted poor communities of color, especially black and brown men, even though studies have consistently shown now for decades that people of color are no more likely to use or sell illegal drugs than white.
Before 1964, the prison rate in America, the majority of people in prison were white people, were white guys. But the thing is, there was no need to have a strong police presence in the black community because black people were already controlled by the basic laws of the land. Black people were already controlled by Jim Crow laws, signs saying black people drink from this water fountain, black people couldn't live in this neighborhood. So black people were just controlled, period, at that time. Now, after the Civil Rights Bill passed in 1964, this is when the police presence became very strong in the black community, because the average citizen couldn't control black people like they could before then. So they came up with another strategy and had law enforcement do it. So around 1964-65, black communities were flooded with law enforcement. And this is why the Black Panthers was started, because of the police brutality that had started in the black community.
Prisoners themselves represent a small percentage of the population under correctional control. Like today, there's about 7.6 million people under correctional control, but only about 1.3 million are in prison. Of that, the rest are on probation, parole, in jail, overwhelmingly for, minor non-violent offenses and drug offenses. The problem is that even if you don't get prison time, even if you're lucky enough to get just felony probation, you're saddled for the rest of your life with a felony record. And so the question isn't, in my view, just who's in prison. Question is, who is branded a criminal or felon and must live with that label for the rest of their lives?
The people said, well, if we don't need black labor anymore, what do we do with it? Well, we have to set up a system in the commercial system, or at least incorporate black people into the commercial system so that they make us money without having to do the labor of kicking cotton or picking sugar cane or whatever. We already passed that. So how do we make a more sophisticated plantation where we can keep slaves? Well, let's criminalize pretty much every damn thing that we do. There are over 1 million laws on the books now. Who needs 1 million laws? Unless you want to control people's behavior.
The police presence has always been in the black community because we are prisoners of war. That's number one. The original police were created to catch slaves. They were slave catchers. There was no need to police a white society. There was no need for that in early America. There was no need for that. Police even became wild when police were always about guarding property. That's what the police are about, guarding property. That's it. Their job gets stretched out to a moral responsibility and public safety and that kind of thing later on in their development. But the original concept of a police officer is to make sure your property stays with you. They are hired by the rich, first of all, to protect the rich's
pain. Pain.
So much pain, so much pain. Let's go.
They'll never take me alive. I'm getting high with my profile. Cocked on these suckers, time to die. Even as a youngster, causing ruckus on the back of the bus. I was a fool all through high school, kicking up dust. But now I'm labeled as a troublemaker. Who can you blame? Smoking weed help me take away the pain. So I'm hopeless, rolling down the freeway, swerving. Don't worry, I'm about to crash up on the curb, cause my business blurry. Maybe if they tried to understand me, what should I do? I had to feed my fucking family. What else could I do but be a thug? I'm slanging with the homies, fuck hanging with them phonies in the club. Got my mind on danger, never been a stranger to homicide. My city's full of gangbangers and drive-bys. Why do we die at an early age? He was so young, but still a victim of the 12 gauge. My memories of a corpse, mind full of sick thoughts, and I ain't going back to court. So fuck what you thought. I'm drinking Hennessy, running from my enemies. Will I let it be 23? There's so much pain.
Don't soldier till I die. Keep me by my side. All night I'm getting high. Life so full of pain. Have you ever seen a flood cry? Mama standing on the street. Gotta get back on my feet.
So much pain, so much pain.
So full of pain. Have you ever seen a flood cry?
I seen a couple niggas shot in the brain. Seen a couple niggas shot in the frame. And I'm trying to maintain. Tell the truth though, the shit ain't the same. I'm a die thug. Fuck it, it's the blood in my vein. Rock the plane, cause we all gon' die. But I can wait, I'm the letter after F it. Right before H, I'm a G, nigga. C, nigga, the pain in my eye. Play the game, you die. I do a buck 85 in the rain and the ride. Eat hot from the flame of the 9. No stranger to danger in mine. Matter of fact, I be banging for mine. Got a closet full of guns and I'm hanging with mine. So much pain, yeah, I spent years doing sicker shit. If I cried, the tears would probably be blood and liquor mixed. And you ain't seen a nigga on no thicker shit. Life's a bitch, bet you that. All my niggas that twisted it.
Don't soldier till I die.
Keep